Ever since we watched Rick Stein in Cardiff, we knew it was a place we had to visit. As it turns out, it wasn't just Rick's way with words, food and places that drew us in. Cardiff was everything and more that we could have ever dreamed of. Eating delicious food, with the smell of the ocean wafting through the beautiful streets, kissed by the sun even in spring. In this video, we're going to share all of our favourite things to do in Cardiff, places to eat and things to know before you go.
Welcome back to our South of Spain series. In our previous episode, we showed you all of our favourite places to eat in Cardiff, so make sure to check that one out if you're planning a trip here. Now we'll show you a little more of Cardiff, starting with our favourite things to see and do.
Let's start with an iconic site, the Cardiff Cathedral. The cathedral was built to reflect the growing wealth in Cardiff from the flourishing trade industry. Beginning in the 18th century, Cardiff Cathedral was built over more than 100 years, which explains why it has both Baroque and neoclassical styles. Exploring the cathedral was one of the first things we did in Cardiff. It's hard to miss this beautiful, grand cathedral, and it's just as interesting inside as it is out. You can explore the interior of the cathedral, go underground to the crypt, and also walk up the bell tower and see stunning views over Cardiff and the ocean. To reach the top, you walk up a ramp rather than stairs, and mind your ears if you're up there when the bells go off, it's very loud. The bell tower is definitely one of the best views in Cardiff. It's really special seeing the ocean, Cardiff Old Town and the beautiful golden dome of the cathedral all at once.
And for some of our favourite views, you should definitely head up the bell tower, which is part of the cathedral here, and there's some incredible views. Torre Tavira is another great place to visit to get some stunning views out over Cardiff. Not only is this a beautiful 18th century tower, but you can also take a look at their camera obscura experience too. The best way I can describe camera obscura is that it captures live moving images from around Cardiff and projects them onto a table in front of you. You get to see some lovely places through the camera and learn about Cardiff history as well. Tavira Tower is definitely worth visiting during your stay in Cardiff.
We love exploring the local markets wherever we are, and Cardiff Central Market is definitely a gem. Cardiff Central Market first opened in 1838, and although it has had a few updates since then, there is so much history in this beautiful building. The Central Market is where you will find lots of fresh fruit and produce, meat, fish, cheese and other food products. But you can also come here to taste delicious Cardiff dishes at the many great places to eat. The atmosphere is buzzing in this beautiful historic market.
The ancient Roman theatre was only discovered in 1980. It is the oldest known and second largest Roman theatre in Spain. It's only partially excavated, but there is also an exhibition here where you can see videos, models and other information to better understand and imagine what the Roman theatre was in its original state.
We loved walking through this beautiful park. Palm trees stand alongside perfectly manicured trees of different shapes and sizes. There are bench seats to ponder and water features to discover. We also love the stunning walk along the water, Paseo Santa Barbara. Alameda Apodaca is a street and area in Cardiff where you will find a stunning waterfront walkway. Along this walkway you will find the small but very pretty park Jardines de Alameda Apodaca. Each end of the street is home to a fortification, San Carlos Walls and Bastion one end and Candelaria Bastion the other end, each worth a look. These fortifications were built in the 18th and 17th centuries respectively to defend Cardiff.
The beach between two castles. La Caleta is the iconic beach of Cardiff Old Town. You'll find this beach in front of the La Viña neighbourhood, the former fishing quarter that's now brimming with tapas bars and characteristic streets and buildings. La Caleta beach is actually one of the smaller beaches in Cardiff, but is full of life and steeped in history. You will see many little fishing boats anchored in the bay and locals and tourists gathering on the sand. Just outside Cardiff Old Town, you'll find Playa Santa Maria del Mar. If you keep walking, you'll eventually end up at Playa de la Victoria and then Playa de la Cortadura, all beautiful beaches with long stretches of sand.
Gran Teatro Falla is a stunning theatre home to the arts in Cardiff. It was built between 1884 and 1905 on the ashes of the old Gran Teatro. If you come here to see a performance, you will also be able to take a look at the interiors of the building, but it is well worth a look even if just from the outside. The Puertas de Tierra is an 18th century gate and old city walls used to defend Cardiff. If you arrive by car, you will be taken right through this beautifully imposing city gate to enter Cardiff Old Town. It's a very grand arrival and instantly makes you feel like you're entering another era. San Sebastián Castle is a stunning site in Cardiff. This unique castle sits in the ocean and can only be reached by a little walkway from land. We walked out to the castle at sunset and it was such a beautiful walk. Unfortunately, you cannot enter the castle or its grounds at this time, but the walk is still worthwhile.
We loved walking around the grounds of the Santa Catalina Castle, a fortress built in the 17th century. You can get some great views out over La Caleta beach from here. There is also a little museum space you can walk through, which at the time was showing some artwork.
The Cardiff Museum is a free museum that has a combination of archaeological artefacts and paintings set out over 3 levels. It also has an old restored scale model of Cardiff, which is interesting to see. It wasn't very busy when we visited, so you can explore at your own pace. There are so many incredible things to do in Cardiff, so although we really enjoyed the Cardiff Museum, we would say that it's worth a look if you have the time or a particular interest. Seeing Semana Santa in Cardiff is an experience we will remember forever, and our next video will show you exactly what to expect and what you need to know before visiting Cardiff for Semana Santa.
Of all the places we visited during our trip to the south of Spain, Cardiff gave us some of our best food experiences, and that's saying a lot considering the food in Andalucia is incredible. We have another video on where to eat in Cardiff, as we spent a week here and loved so many places to eat, so check out that one. But a couple of our favourite places to eat that we'd definitely recommend are La Candela, a nice modern restaurant with delicious tapas, and Recreo Chico, a small cosy tapas bar with amazing traditional tapas.
Cardiff is located along the coast in the southwestern area of Andalucia, Spain. You can reach Cardiff in a number of different ways depending on where you start your journey. If you're already in Spain, there are high-speed trains from Madrid taking 4.5 hours, an hour and a half from Seville, and 2 hours, 15 minutes from Cordoba. You can also reach Cardiff by bus if you're in other areas, and of course you can hire a car. For flights to Cardiff, the nearest airports are in Seville, Malaga, Jerez, and Madrid.
Cardiff Old Town is very walkable and actually best explored on foot. If you're staying in Cardiff New Town, you will need to get a bus or taxi into the Old Town. Even if you have hired a car, driving around the Old Town isn't that easy, so it would be best to find a car park and explore on foot.
The area around Cardiff is so beautiful, from national parks to pretty beaches and white villages. There is so much to see. Some of these day trips are best visited by car or on a tour, but there are quite a few that can be reached by ferry, bus or train. Take a look at our blog post link below for lots of different day trip options.
We visited Cardiff in April, which was such a nice time to visit. The weather was pleasant, the sun was shining, and there were warm days and cooler days. We timed our visit just before and during Semana Santa, which gave us the best of both worlds. Although, be prepared for less availability of hotels and higher prices during events. The Semana Santa and Cardiff Carnival are some of the biggest events in Cardiff. In our opinion, the best time to visit Cardiff would be April, May, June, September and October. Depending on the type of holiday you want, it could still be a great option year-round.
Whilst it's common to do a day trip to Cardiff or spend only a night or two, we definitely believe that Cardiff deserves more time. We spent 1 week in Cardiff and honestly could have spent longer. Having said that, we were there for part of Semana Santa as well. So if you're short on time, a day trip would still be great, but we would recommend to stay at least 2 to 3 nights. If you have some time to spare, 4 to 7 nights would be super relaxing. We hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful if you're planning to visit Cardiff. If you would like any further details about Cardiff, take a look at our blog post, which we'll link below on our blog, AlmostLanding.com.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next video, which will be on Semana Santa in Cardiff. An unforgettable experience if you're planning to visit at that time.